Hey everyone, hope you're having a fantastic day. Thank you so much for checking out another episode today. I feel like down the stretch, Chicago choked a little bit. They had every opportunity to end up winning this inside of P5 and on the rotation towards P1. They were a little bit passive. I feel like they were just waiting for the perfect opportunity rather than being the aggressor and pushing both inside of P5 and rotating to P1 a little bit earlier. So we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna break that down in detail, and towards the end I'm gonna get you set up. I'm gonna give you my prediction for who I think is gonna end up being your 2020 Call of Duty champion. So as we go ahead and set the stage for you, you can see in the top center that it's 218 to 193. There are 20 seconds left inside of P4. And right now, this is as perfect as it could possibly get for Chicago, right? They have two people inside of P4. They're right now set up at least to get the rest of the time inside of P4. They have the spawn on the right-hand side of the map. Super important because it's easier to get inside of P5 from the right-hand side of the map. Also easier to get set up inside of P1 from the right-hand side of the map. And even though this would never happen, if it does eventually go to P2, then they have the right side spawns for P2 also. But that's not important because this match is never going to end up going that far. So if you're Chicago, this is perfect. I thought that this was a done deal. There's no way that Atlanta ends up coming back from this, but I was a little bit wrong, and let's talk about why. So right now, we're going to go ahead, we're going to press play, and we're going to let things develop a little bit. So on rotation right here, you can see that there's two people inside of P4. There's a couple on rotation over towards P5, and I'm going to stop this right here because I feel like there is a really important point to be made right here that not too many people might have noticed. So as we go ahead and look at the minimap, you can see up here the top hand part of the screen, Arcides just got this kill on Priesta, and Pristini just got this kill on Simp. So at this point in time, if you're Chicago, you know that there are only 3 Atlanta Faze members on the map. As we go ahead, and I'm just going to let this play for just a second. We're going to stay in this screen, but right now, so right there, Abizi ends up pushing through. Again, look inside of P4. So if you're Chicago, yeah, they're inside of P4. You might want to get in. You might want to contest. But that's just more knowledge. That's one more person where you know their position on the map. So right now, 2 are dead. There's 1 inside of P5. So at most, there can only be 2 people inside the hard point. So if I'm Chicago right now, what I want to do is I want to take Arcides. I want to take Envoy. I want to take Scump. I want to take Pristini off spawn, and I want to get inside this P5 hardpoint. If I can get inside this hardpoint and I can get set up, it doesn't even matter where you're spawning, right? You get someone behind the bar. Maybe you get somebody on the stairs leading to top restaurant. Maybe you get somebody out front by hazmat so that you can cut off that entrance to the front side of P5. Whatever you have to do, you want to make sure that as P5 pops, you're the team that's set up inside. But that's not what happens. So let's go ahead. Let's go back into the play here. And by all means, you have to give Celium credit. But right there, if that was a time pushed, Celium ends up going down, right? So Envoy just kind of throws his, I don't want to say he throws his life away, but that was a 1v1 scenario. And then Celium looks back, and Major Maniac was also inside. Remember when we said at most there are 2 people inside of P5? That's it. It's Major Maniac and Celium were sitting next to each other. They just saw Arcides over to the left, and Arcides is playing super passive. When Envoy pushed, he didn't. When Envoy got killed, it wasn't like there was somebody there to trade. So one person comes in from Chicago, gets dealt with. Scump comes in from Chicago, gets dealt with. Those are both technically 2v1 scenarios, right? Because they didn't come in at the same time. So again, it's a little bit passive. And since that happens, you can see, look at Formal, right? Right here on screen, Formal was just sitting outside this door. So rather than push in when the rest of his teammates push in, he elects to go backwards because, remember, Atlanta was just getting that time inside of the P4 hardpoint. So as Atlanta was getting that time, Formal's going to end up backing off, and he's looking for the push from the player that was inside of P4, which ends up being Priesta, right? Priesta's up here. He ended up getting a kill on Pristini. So rather than push in, this is another scenario where Chicago says, you know what? We're going to wait. We're going to make sure we have all of our ducks in a row, and then we're going to have a coordinated, intelligent push together to end up winning this map. But sometimes you have to play a little bit more aggressive than that. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to press play again. We're going to let this play for just like 20 seconds. And then I feel like there's a point in time where Chicago ends up missing their opportunity to be the first team that rotates. So BZ gets a kill on Arcity. Celium gets another kill on Envoy. Celium gets another kill on Formal. Simp gets a kill. BZ gets a kill. I mean, the pressure that they had inside the hard point, they absolutely went off. Atlanta just went crazy down the stretch when they needed to. But if you're Chicago, you have to be thinking about a couple things. Look at the top score. It's currently 210, and there's 38 seconds left inside the hard point. So if you're Chicago, you know that you don't even have to contest another second. It's not the best outcome, right? You want to get in, you want to contest, you want to start to build time. But even if you don't, Atlanta's not going to end up winning on this hard point. So that's something to just keep in the back of your mind. And another thing that they do really well, look at where Abizi's at. He just got a kill on Scump, on Envoy, and Arcides. And this is something that Atlanta does almost better than every other team in the league. I think the SMGs from Dallas with Shotzi and Illy and Hugh, I think they do a really good also. But you can see that rather than stay inside the P5 hardpoint, right here, Abizi pushes out. He's getting kills in those choke points before Chicago can get in. Also, Priesta was here helping him. Priesta was also helping him get kills before Chicago can get up off of spawn and get inside of P5. So you can definitely tell right now who's the aggressor, right? Chicago's kind of waiting for the perfect opportunity when they have all of their bases covered to push in together. And Atlanta's just going for it, right? They're inside the hard point. They're getting anchored down. Abizi's pushing out into the choke points. They're playing like their tournament lives are on the line because it technically was. But right here, Celium gets another kill there. And in just a moment, I feel like Chicago might have missed their opportunity. So right here is the point in time when there's 20 seconds left inside the hard point. If you're Chicago, you just got team wiped again. I think Formal is left, but he's the only one. As we look at the minimap, Formal is on the top part of this L right here inside of P5. He's not going to end up being able to get a couple kills, clearing this out and getting this time. So if you're Chicago, I get the fact that it's not the best case scenario, but right here, you're going to see that as Chicago comes up off of spawns, they end up getting spawns in these locations rather than immediately rotate to make sure that they're set up inside of P1. Because once you get set up inside of P1, there's only a couple situations where you can get killed from, right? If you're Atlanta, you're spawning on that left-hand side. So if you're Atlanta, you have to either push through arches right here, or you can send somebody on the long flank, but there's probably not enough time to do that, or you can go top apartments and hit this side door. But once you're set up, it's really easy to cover because there's only a couple of choke points. Same with Chicago. If Chicago's not set up, you either have to go through this door, or again, you can hit the long flank, but there's not going to be enough time for that. So you're going to see as we let this play out, I'm going to keep you in this map breakdown because you're going to see that one team is thinking ahead. And you can see that, right? Look at what Atlanta's doing. Coming up off of spawn, it helps that Celium is going absolutely wild with the BZ inside of the P5 hardpoint. But coming up off of spawn, Major Maniac is rotating over. Simp is rotating over. Priesta is rotating over, and they know even if they give the last 15 seconds inside of P1 to Chicago, it's 231 with 15 seconds left. So Chicago's not going to win inside of P5. So they're the team that plays this a little bit more intelligently, and they end up rotating over. As we press play, look at the minimap. Look at all the white arrows. Every single white arrow that came up off of spawn right here elected to hit inside of P5. And that's just not the proper play at this case scenario. You have to get inside of P1, get set up, get on your headies so that as the enemy team pushes through those one or two choke points, you can get those kills. So We're going to go ahead and we're going to let this play out. Finally, Celium ends up getting traded right there from Envoy. The last 6 seconds are going to go to Chicago, but as it's time to rotate over, at this point in time, they only have one chance to get inside, right? If they don't go right, it's not like they can, so let's pause this and let's just explain this. It's not like they can hit this, die, come up off a spawn, and hit it again. This is the exact same thing that they try to do inside of P5. They try to make sure everything was perfect so that when they hit it, they would be able to overtake it. And I will say that coming outside of P5, I think they did a nice job of setting it up, but if you're Atlanta, obviously you're going to be prepared, right? So at the end of P5 right here, Arcedy's ended up coming through CDOM. You can see he's going to hit the flank. Envoy was inside of P5. He was the last one getting time, so he's going to hit arches right here. You have these 3 members. The other 3 members from Chicago are going to be hitting that right-hand side, and it has to happen all at once. So it's either you win the critical gun battles or you don't, but the problem for Chicago is that these are not 50-50 gun battles. When you're running in and they're on headies, probably not going to end up working out for you. So go ahead and hit play. Scump got tagged up, but you can see right there in the kill feed, left-hand side, Priesta gets a kill on Envoy. Celium gets the kill on Arcedy's. Those were the 2 that were trying to hit from the left-hand side. They were trying to pinch from behind. It didn't end up working out. Simp got a kill on Formal as Formal was trying to cross over here to help Scump and Pristini. Right here on screen, you can see that Abizi is hitting this pinch right here as Pristini and Scump try to get in. So everybody has died. You've only got basically one chance at this point in time. Pristini ends up going down. The score is 245 to 239. There are no other reserves there. So if you're Scump, you have to get in and you just have to try to hide. You know that they're going to be looking at you coming through this entrance over here. He doesn't have a choice. 247, 248. He goes in. He tries to get in and contest. He ends up going down right here. Celium gets another kill on Envoy, and there's just no other opportunities for Chicago to get in and contest. So if you guys are new around here, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Any comments on this one, let me know down below. What did you think of this overall? What do you think the biggest issue was for Chicago? What do you think Atlanta did best that ended up leading to their victory? All of that, put it down in the comments below. We've got one more day. As soon as this tournament is over, I'm going to be breaking it all down for you. So make sure you hit that subscribe button, leave a like. Thank you guys so much for all of your continued support this year. We will see you in tomorrow's upload. Enjoy, enjoy, enjoy Championship Sunday, the final matchup, best of 9.